Hello, Libra, and welcome to your October 2025 tarot card reading. And happy birthday to all of my Libras that are watching. I do wish you have a good month. It's been a lot of interest going on in the sky, continues to be. I feel like October is not as busy as last month, of course. There's definitely some deep transitions happening, but I just don't think that, it's not going to be as busy, dramatic as the full moon and eclipse season was in September. Of course, there are some big things happening. So I'm going to be pulling 10 cards with a guiding card from this traditional Rider-Waite deck, and then I'll be clarifying each of those with 3 cards of this Gilded Tarot deck. I'll pull you all an oracle from the Fantasy Oracle deck, as well as a talisman card at the end as well. I do hope you're having a good month. It's just been a very busy time, I think, for everybody. I know in my own life I've been busy as well. Such is the nature of things at this time of year, of course. But Libra season is here, so this is your trip around the sun, I guess, as they say, right? So, okay. Spirit, what's going on for Libra in the month of October 2025? Any messages for them that they need to hear? Okay. Let's see what we get. I think we're going to get some interesting things, of course. All right. Let's see what we have. Five of Cups. You too. This card has showed up for so many signs this month. Strength. Queen of Swords. The World. Seven of Cups. Very fascinating, Libra. Okay, well, let's start with that. I always tend to see these cards, whatever sticks out to me first. I do see the World here. I just get a sense that something is feeling like it's at its end, or at least at a state of completion. Something might be finished, something you've been involved with, maybe for a long time. The energy that goes into this will be stopping. But I don't see an ending now, at least. I see you not putting much more in to the situation. And I do see the Queen of Swords is looking right at this, almost like you might have been ignoring it. But let's start at the beginning, I guess, after I always do that. I see one card. And it's a big major arcana right there. But you, like so many signs, have been pulling this. The Five of Cups, something on your mind. And I do see the strength coming up right after it. It may be that you perceive you will need some strength because I think that you need to address something. There's a lot of stuff happening in the sky right now. The sun is in Libra. That's your sign. You know how difficult this can be. You know that not all that looks beautiful and lustrous and wonderful on the surface is always that way underneath. There's a lot of complex things. You know this to be true, Libra. There may be something here that used to satisfy you that is just not anymore. And I think it's causing you quite a bit of woe. It does seem to be really weighing on your mind. We also have Mercury is going into on the 6th or 7th, around that area. Mercury is going into Scorpio and it's going to be joining Mars. And that's your second house. This is approaching things about like money, assets, all of those things. And it's going to be, I think, stirring up a sense for you to have a real conversation, to have some real conversations about the things that you might have felt have been bothering you in that place, maybe having to do with that. Of course, Libra, that's all about sometimes relationships, all of that stuff as well. And you do, of course, in your house of self with the sun there, that's going to be the way that you define this person, the way that you define yourself. And I just see whatever it is, there's something that I feel like is bothering you. The Five of Cups says, I miss, I wish, why didn't I do that? Why did I do that? What? I just don't know how to resolve this, but I do see after this moment, the Strength card is here. I do believe this is a way for you to sort of channel this internal power that you're connected to, this internal or external could even be. This could be, I see a moment maybe in some higher power that you may have put faith. It could also just be your own higher self is telling you how to handle this situation. And it's giving you the inner drive that you need to turn around here and see the cups that are still present, the things that might still serve you and might lead you to the bridge to get to this more structurally sound place that you can see. I feel like with the Five of Cups, there's always like a definitive thing that you just can't put your finger on. And I always see it as this fortress, the structure here with the cups. If you could just turn around and just see the bridge to get there. The answer is always right in front of you here. You're just stuck somewhere that you can't bring yourself to look. There may be something you've been avoiding, Libra. There might be an uncomfortable place in your feelings where you've been avoiding. And I do see that I do see a consciousness now of this. Like the higher self is waking you up to say you need to deal with this. This is something that has really been causing you grief. This is a place where you don't want to stay anymore, and you need to do what you need to do to get past that. There also is for you a full moon in Aries. This is the 7th house for you. That has a lot to do with personal relationships. Okay, so for some of you, this could be bringing to a head an uncomfortable truth going on in that place. And it also could be business partnerships, but it's one-on-one sort of relationships that you have. There might be something there this month for you, something really going on, especially, you have also Pluto and Aquarius with Uranus and Gemini. There's a lot of big trining energies going on that it's just sort of shaking up the things for you that need to change. Okay, I just see that for you. Might be also with Pluto and Aquarius in the 5th house, it's also speaking to how you define joy, how you bring yourself, your sense of self and comfort, and how the things bring you joy, happiness, all that sort of stuff. So there's kind of big ideas going on in this air trine that's happening with Uranus there as well. Things are still shaking, okay, shaking up. You might need this strength, but I see the Strength card is allowing the Queen to have truth, because the Queen can't stand if there's not truth. The Queen is not going to be quiet. The Queen does not enable quietude. If she believes that her voice needs to be heard, she uses it. If the Queen believes that her sword needs to be used, she uses it. The queen does not hide her state of mind. She does not bite her tongue if she feels like something needs to happen, if something needs to be said, even if it's to your own self in your own head. The queen is going to tell you. And it's not always nice to hear. This may be stirring up for you a sense of a painful admission. I feel like you might have been avoiding here. Using some strength, internal strength, I do see almost like connected to some kind of higher faith or higher power of your own mind. The queen sees very much. There's something that's not right. She sees, I think, looking directly at the world card, that something is done. Something has finished, and it might be backing up progress for her and for you. It might be the need to recognize energies that are finished such that they don't turn stagnant. In Libra, you are allowed sometimes in your own mind to become stagnant, which you know is also not a good place. It's just a place because you like to take your time with decisions, with the things in the world, that you don't want to make a premature decision, you don't want to hurt people. Sometimes you need to understand what is done, and not just that it's done, but how to strategically end it. But the queen, I feel like with Mercury and Mars and Scorpio in the second house, all of those things that have to do with money, stability, all of those things, and assets especially. If you've been overgiving or over allowing or enabling in some way, especially in a relationship that's not serving you, the queen is going to let you know. She's going to let them know. It's not going to stay hidden. It's not going to stay in this place. It's not going to stay in a painful place, because I see you in a place where you're feeling particularly articulate this month, where you might have that direct word. You might have that exact conversation. And I think the queen is just seeing something for you which has run its course. Of course, I do see this does stir up a sense of, well, what am I supposed to do? And this is what I mean with the Libra energy, where it's that complicated sort of thing. Yes, it's beautiful, it's harmonic, it's beautiful, it's all those things, and it resonates with everything if it can, but it can't resonate with everything because you only have a fixed amount of energy, Libra. And this is Libra always sort of tends to procrastinate because it does not like this place. It does not like this confusion and feeling. It wants to pick the exact right thing. It wants to know the answer. But it does this by weighing things. You would try all of these cups if you thought that one of them would work out. And if it didn't work out, you just would kind of be done with it. And it's a little bit about feeling going on. There's a cup here and a cup here where it's like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know what I'm supposed to choose. What's my path? Where am I supposed to take this in my heart? Is this supposed to be, am I supposed to end things? Am I supposed to start something new? Am I supposed to pretend like I care? All of these sorts of questions that go on in Libra's head. Because Libra does not want to hurt others. It tends to avoid confrontation. Even though you know that one might be needed, but we'll see what happens. Let's pull some more cards. Have the Wheel of Fortune. Big major arcana, Libra. Big major arcana. Nine of Swords. Ace of Swords. Coming under the Queen of Swords here. Eight of Swords. You also have the Seven of Wands. Tough decisions, I think, Libra. Interesting. Okay. Now I'm also going to pull you a guiding card for the month. See if we can get a guiding energy spirit for Libra for the month of October 2025. Ten of Swords. Oh boy, Libra. I have a feeling this is going to be a big month. Okay, this is going to be revealing in that way. There's a lot of sword energy coming up now. Okay, a lot of swords. First, it starts with the cups and that emotional seed space. Okay, and the under the surface in your heart, all those things. The Queen detects something is finished. And now after this point where it's like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to feel about this? Why am I here again? I always get Libra hates this energy because it knows how long it's going to take it to pick the right cup because it will give every single cup a fair shake. It will see, oh, should I keep trying? Should I try something different? Should I allow them to try? There's all these sort of questions here. And I think that Pluto for you in Aquarius out in the fifth house is really shaking your world. And Pluto is in and out of bounds, for the next several years. But out of bounds, Pluto is so much more amplified in how it's able to behave and what it will shake up for you there. And that is trining your own energy, Libra, as well as Uranus and Gemini, things in communication, all about confusion. Okay, I just see there's an element of confusion because this is where Libra goes when they know they have to get off of their stoop to do something. And I do see that as happening, but there's a recognition, and this is that very complicated Libra process of actually making things be done. And how you're going to do this in a way that's equitable for you, that's equitable for them. And I do see this a lot as the relationship because right around here, the 13th, Venus comes into Libra with the sun. So it's questions involving the money, the relationships, and how those two play together. And trining Pluto and Aquarius with whether or not that's bringing you joy. It's a very difficult place. It's a very challenging place. It's all about how you redefine what brings you joy through your relationship. And has it been serving you? Has it been taking from you? Are you in a place where you want to continue to do this? I see that the Wheel of Fortune is bringing such a sense of momentum, and that pendulum is swinging towards something to be changing big time with the world, especially. When the world happens here, especially at the Wheel of Fortune, things are going to change. Tides are going to turn. The way that things are supposed to be. There are two huge major arcana here, and they both have the energy from all four of the signs. There's a connectedness. There's a sense of consideration of all the things. I do get a sense, Libra, that you are considering all the things, especially with the Seven of Cups being sandwiched between those two major arcana in that way. I just see such a thorough review of your sense of life, your sense of self, the things that define you, the way that you will be able to define yourself in the future. It's a reflection on the past. There's so much happening for you. But I do see what you find there. I do think that you detect with the Wheel of Fortune, something needs to change, something big that might change the course of your life, maybe forever. It's going to change the past, change the way things were, and redefine you. The Wheel of Fortune is a very powerful major arcana where things are going to start to either turn up, turn down. I do always tend to see it as come up again in some way, but with Venus there, and now you have at this point, there's a little bit of stress. Whatever reality I think that you are finding, it is causing you some stress. It is causing you a little bit of distress, difficulty, anxiety, all of those sorts of things. And air signs really hate this card. It's a complex card for air signs. For air signs, this is kind of as bad as things can get because it's all about mental energy. Air signs, especially Libra, the cardinal sign of air signs. There's so much in your head all the time that when you start to get to this place, things can get pretty scary. You start to think to yourself about, how is this going to define me? How am I going to wake up tomorrow? How am I going to look people in the face? How am I going to do this? How am I? All those sort of dangerous, definitive questions that cause you to have fear over the definition. In this, with Libra, it's all about others and that mirror. You know that. It's all about the other and what they will think, what they will do, how will they respond. It's not about me all the time as a Libra. It's about you. It's a different sort of energy where other signs are always concerned about themselves. Libra can be overly concerned with what others will think. And I do see that here for you. But that's only part of it with this card. The Nine of Swords says, I'm afraid to make this change. I'm afraid to get off my stoop. I'm afraid to get on the horse because I know it will make me have to cause pain, and it will make it so that I have to hurt somebody, or it will make it so that I have to change something such that I will be analyzed. But I do see it as necessary for you, Libra. I do. Because right around this time, we have the new moon, all of this sort of anxiety, sort of energy. I mean, not all of it's anxious. I feel like there's a great deal of opportunity, to explore as well. And that brings you stress as well, I know. So that could be related here too. But there's a new moon in Libra, which this is all culminating before the sun goes into Scorpio right about here. It's culminating in a new moon in Libra. How you can redefine yourself, how you can plant the seeds for a future self, things you can do now which will lead you to a better place. And at this point, the sun coming into Scorpio, it will be running into Mercury and Mars there for a few days. There's a lot of water energy that starts to come at this point. You have Mercury and Mars both in Scorpio. That's in your second house, those deep conversations that are happening all the time up here. I think this is related to that. You might be having that deep conversation. You might be finding that, you know what? I'm just spinning my wheels here. This is a waste of my time. The queen would know when someone is wasting her time, and leading her to the reality that this is done. I am done with this. The queen will not waste her time anymore. If it means she has to change the whole world and make something happen. The queen has a big sword, Libra. She knows exactly how to use it. And like I said earlier, it might not feel good all the time, okay? The Ace of Swords, yeah, it's stressful because I think you see the truth of what's going on. And it's stressful because now you know that you might have found the truth with these conversations in that place about finances, assets. And the truth can sometimes hurt as well. The swords, a lot of people always see swords, Ace of Swords, as being that epiphany and all of that. But the sword, even though it has good things that come with it, a victory sense, it's not such a nice card all the time either. I do see this as like the Queen's Sword, where it's still a sword card. It's still sharp. It still can hurt. It can inflict pain. It can inflict scars. It can do that. But just know that when it does that, it is trying to make the truth happen. It is trying to bring you to a place of betterment. And I do see that with the Nine of Swords as being a little bit concerned with How am I going to define myself if I have to do this, if I have to end this relationship, if I have to leave this job, if I have to, all of those sort of things that Libra gets so stuck with. And I do see it kind of causing you a little bit of stuckness. And I think that these two cards always seem related to me, that the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Swords. You definitely know the truth, okay? Even if you've been ignoring it, even if you've been procrastinating it, putting it off, relationships, maybe something in that relationship there with Pluto trining that energy, I think you may be finding that something in the relationship is not satisfying you. It's just not. And the full moon in Aries in the seventh house is just stirring up for you that sense of other people, long term relationships. And the Eight of Swords is all about confusion and not knowing exactly the things that are going to be the next step, not knowing all of the things that are the answer. The Eight of Swords is all about stuckness. And it's like, oh, how did I get here? Why am I here? It just tends to bring you to a place of such confusion and of such the feeling of blindness. But it's because you know that truth that you can't step out. You might be keeping yourself here because this card always I see that the rags are not so tight where this figure could not just step out, where this figure could not just leave. There's a fear that you're going to run into some of these uncomfortable truths, that you're going to have to actually confront something. And I do see that there is some fear. And the end of the month, at this point, Mercury is moving into, or I'm sorry, yes, Mercury is moving into Sagittarius, where that's a bit more complicated too. That's your third house. That's all about learning, communications. Things might get a little bit defensive. There might be a need to defend your position. This might not be the easiest transition or truth to express at that point. I do see that you are trying to have the conversation. I just don't see that that conversation is being as well received. Of course, we'll clarify all these cards and we'll get an idea of what's going on. But there is a sense of having to defend your position, having to hold your point of view. And the Seven of Wands is connected to this Eight of Swords, is all about knowing that you need to confront it. And I do believe maybe the Eight of Swords at this point for you, it may actually be trying to step out, but it's like everything that you do is just so like pulled there and it just makes you feel trapped. And I think that at some point you're going to have to cave in, you're going to have to give. And Libra is so willing sometimes to stay in this position forever if it means keeping everybody happy and appeasing the group and not going against what, ruffling the feathers. You don't like that energy. But I do see that no matter what you do, no matter how much you avoid this, especially knowing what you know about what's happening, there's going to be an expression and there's going to be tension building. There's going to be a need to defend your position for whatever reason. We're going to clarify all these cards, but guiding card for you came up with the Ten of Swords. Something has ended, something this month for you. There's a big ending, something, and it's got to do with this World card. It's got to do with the things that are finished, that have just run their course. It may be that it was just the natural, of their own volition, the natural terminus of this thing, whatever it was, probably that relationship energy or whatever's going on with the trust issues and the money, that sort of thing. It could have to do with that. I'm not saying all of you are going to go out and to get divorced, but there might be a death of the old way in that place and how things used to be done. For some of you, you could be breaking up. That's very possible. There is some stress here too. But just know that even though it might hurt a little bit, this truth will lead you to victory if you give into it. The Ten of Swords. This is all like a big finale. I see. There's something has really run. You have some huge major arcana here, Libra. And it's bringing you all to this place, all to this point, the natural grand finale of something in your life, probably in that relationship, or at least some way that you've been defining it. Very interesting. It's not always easy, of course, Libra. You know that. In fact, for you, I think you know better than anybody how difficult that can be because you don't want to ruffle any feathers. But why don't we pick an oracle card for you? Spirit, any oracle cards for Libra for the month of October? I see a big evaluation, self-definition, maybe taking back some power. There's a lot of big things happening, I think. Oracle cards for Libra Spirit. The Archer, biding your time and planning ahead. I do see this as, like I said here, what I see here is a lot of recognition with the Queen and understanding with the Ace, but I do see a little bit of putting things off here, the 8 and the 7. These things take time, but I think that whatever's going on in your head, Libra, there's a big plan on what needs to happen. And I do see that whatever is happening, it might be all leading to an end result here. It may not be happening exactly this month, but there is something you're trying to finish, to be done. And I do see this a little bit as taking your time to understand not just that this needs to end, but also where to go after, what to do with that. And you are kind of taking your time, okay? This isn't like a huge initiative energy. I just don't see that for you. And now we'll pull a talisman card. Spirit, we pull a talisman for Libra. Navigation. Very interesting. These are tough energies. We do have Neptune going back into, I just see this, very interestingly. I don't know why this to me, I just see the fish, which Neptune is going back into Pisces. It's going to be dissolving the things there in the 6th house, which is all about that, the routines, the day-to-day, all the things that you're finding there, the way you do things, dissolving those things, maybe even bad habits or things that you allow to affect you every day in the relationship, with the money, with all of the things that determine what you're going to do. You will have to navigate a little bit, of course. This does take a bit of planning ahead. Whenever you navigate, you have to have the plan. I do see this as you kind of trying to drive the ship to wherever it needs to go in the future based on what's going on now. So I just see navigation. It's just a lot going on with you, I feel like. You're having to sort of figure out what the plan is from here, because I think you will find something really is ending, something big. Interesting. And I'm going to clarify all these cards. So, okay, let's pull that one for the 5 of Cups, 4 of Cups. Spirit, let's keep on with 5 of Cups, the Devil, yes. Okay, yep. The Magician. Now let's clarify the Strength card, Spirit. The Queen of Wands. I pulled these two together. I have the 3 of Swords, and I have the 4 of Wands. And now the Queen of Swords. The Hierophant. Wheel of Fortune. Ten of Pentacles. Now the World. King of Swords. Page of Swords. Yeah, a lot of thought going there. And I have the Strength card. The Fool on the Seven of Cups. Very interesting energy, of course. Queen of Cups. And the Nine of Pentacles. Now the Wheel of Fortune. Nine of Cups. Judgment. And the Sun. What a huge moment right here. Okay. Now the Nine of Swords. The Emperor. Ace of Wands. And the Hanged Man. Now the Ace of Swords. Page of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Lots of pentacle energy coming. Eight of Swords. Clarify. I pulled these two. So I have the King of Swords. I'm sorry, the Knight of Swords. And the Five of Swords. And the Knight of Cups. And now the Eight of Wands. Again with the two cards. I have the Nine of Wands. And the Six of Swords. And the Ten of Swords. Sort of interesting how that came out. And now I'm going to clarify this Ten of Swords guiding card. I have the Three of Wands. I have the Seven of Cups. And now I've been trying something new this month. I'm going to try and get another third card. And we're just going to ask Spirit, is there anything else on this guiding energy that Libra needs to know? No. Okay. Very good. So I'll leave it there. And the link in the description will take you to the comprehensive reading, Libra, where you can see all that I see here with the cards. Of course, I always get a lot more there. It's a lot of complicated energy happening for you. It's a very, very interesting place for you this month. I do see a deep evaluation of self-relation and how you're going to be defined and all of those sorts of things, especially with the relationship in the way that others see you. So I will pause it here, but if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. I can't resonate with all of you. There are a lot of you. So I will pause it here, and if you choose to see me in the comprehensive, I'd be glad to see you there. Okay.